Introduction. Chances are you have heard of the third eye. Most people have. Unfortunately, the third eye most people know is possibly the investigative eye, someone you hire to check out who could be sabotaging your business, your relationship, and such. Investigative firms, for example, might view themselves as their client's third eye. However, the third eye discussed in this book relates to the power of vision that you gain when you learn how to exercise some out-of-the-body discipline. In this book, you can learn more about the basics of opening the third eye. You will learn the simple things that you need to do on a regular basis, but which have enormous rewards in terms of being aware of what is happening around you. Once you have learned how to open your third eye, you will be able to tell when you are in a hostile environment and when you are in a friendly environment. Whichever happens to be the case, you then can make a move that best suits your circumstances. Being able to open your third eye also gives you a quick and easy avenue to relax both your mind and your body, something that leaves you well placed to make objective decisions in whatever you are doing. For your information, some people have their third eye open right from birth, in fact so open that they pass as natural psychics. This book will help you see if you are a natural psychic or not, or if someone close to you happens to be. This is important because some parents who have children with psychic abilities tend to think those children are mentally unstable. And that goes too for the abilities of a medium, the one with an even higher level of intuition and vision, and which happens to take a much more spiritual dimension. You will read all about the distinguishing features between a psychic and a medium in this book. Hence, you will be able to understand yourself when you feel like you are thinking out of this world, and others too when other people may see them as weirdos. Incidentally, when it comes to the opening of your third eye, at times it just inadvertently flips open. You will read about that in this book and see how you can be so ordinary one day and the next you are all visual and prophetic. In fact, that is how the world has gotten some of its most famous mediums, in a very abrupt and unplanned way. However, as already mentioned, that there are the natural-born psychics as you will clearly see in this book. And whichever way each of the psychics gets their third eye open, the fact is that they all have very high level of intuition that any person would benefit from. This book also teaches you how to close your third eye. It shows you why opening your third eye can sometimes be overwhelming, and it teaches you how to remedy the situation in such instances. From this book, you get to learn that the skills of opening and closing your third eye are not just useful to monks and other religious figures, but they are also useful to ordinary people. The future for you is waiting to be uncovered. If you are ready to get more intuitive, you need to read this book and put into practice the simple lessons given. You will realize that there is nothing necessarily religious about meditation, yet it can go a long way to opening your higher understanding of happenings in your life. You will be in a position to psych yourself for certain eventualities that you may sense during the period your third eye is highly energized. In matters of intuition and psychic competence, this book offers just the solution you have been looking for. Happy reading and best wishes in activating your third eye. Chapter 1: What, exactly, is the third eye? How many eyes do you normally have? Well, you, obviously, know of two. The physical ones that are conspicuous and clearly located within your face. But there are, very likely, times that you see something for the first time, yet you have this feeling that it is not exactly new. Chances are that you had visualized whatever it is you are seeing now, but at a subconscious level. And much as we may be using subconscious here, in certain disciplines, it comes across as a level of, say, higher consciousness. At certain times too, you have this strong feeling about something and you may reckon it is your mind directing your line and density of thought, yet it happens to be a function of your third eye. So you cannot wonder that it is sometimes referred to as your mind's eye. Has the third eye always existed? From the old school of thought, the third eye has a lot to do with the mystical, some extraordinary ability to perceive things you cannot see with your naked eyes. In fact, in many cases, it is seen as ability to perceive things even before they happen. The reason the third eye is sometimes referred to as the speculative and invisible eye. Of course, since it is not visible, it is also termed the inner eye. And, in a somewhat amusing way, in some faiths, it is even given a location. In Hinduism, for example, it is said to be on your brow, right between your eyebrows, but slightly above the eyebrow junction. You have possibly seen members of the Hindu community wear a red mark right on that spot. In Theosophy, which is a study of the divine within the Greek philosophy, the third eye is considered as being located within the pineal gland. This is a serious subject, but it is sprinkled with funny aspects. When it comes to this discipline that is Theosophy, for instance, it is believed that once upon a time, sounds like a tale of the ogres, the human third eye used to be physically located right at the back of your head. Oops. Sure, and it did perform both the physical role of watching and also the spiritual role of seeing the invisible. Then, what the heck happened? Well, ever heard that once upon a time you were monkeys? And then you learned how to walk on twos and your brain developed somewhat and you became the bright beings that you are today? That is called evolving. And so, apparently, you may have had that physical third eye in those early stages of development, and it sort of dissolved or disappeared into your cranium. Too much imagination here, and now what you are left with is the ability to sense out-of-body things from your pineal gland. Scientific perspective to the third eye. Incidentally, some highly educated people seem to see a lot of sense in the third eye and are trying to understand its mode of operation better. There is this doctor of psychiatry, Dr. Rick Strassman, who tends to see some link between the pineal gland and the excretion of the chemical, entheogen. Entheogen, for your information, is said to induce different states of consciousness. So you see, the existence of the third eye is not a matter of mythical stories, religious hypnosis and fanaticism, or such other not easy-to-believe practices. It is some reality that you may wish to appreciate, acknowledge, and even make use of. And what is the modern sense of the third eye? In the present day, the third eye does not change its basics since it is still invisible and not necessarily easy to comprehend, but it is associated more with enlightenment of sorts. It is also associated with your ability to understand and make best use of your chakras, those nerve centers that exist in different parts of your body, and which have a lot to do with your emotional, psychological, and spiritual welfare. In a religious sense, the third eye has got a lot to do with visions. In this respect, people who make good use of their third eye are often believed to be seers. On the overall, the third eye has plenty to do with non-physical experiences as well as precognition. How, for the love of mystery and wit, do I begin to comprehend the third eye? Yeah, if you are not into chakras and visions, you may be wondering what will make you understand the third eye better. Here is a case that will ring a bell. Supposing your friend is grieving and you find that whatever words you prepare to say as a show of solidarity are not sufficient. Just being around this friend and showing empathy does wonders. Your friend understands that you are communicating empathy and solidarity. You know what you are effectively doing in this case? You are utilizing the power of the third eye to send your heartfelt emotions to that person. The truth is that you and everyone else have the third eye. And evidently, your third eye does not just receive information, it also transmits it. Another way of looking at the third eye. You know what a student portal is, don't you? The site where you log into and access whatever that appertains to you as a student, a place that is highly concentrated with information useful to you in particular and not the entire institution in general. That is precisely what your third eye is like, a portal that is concentrated with such great and positive energy, that it is able to sharpen your thinking and direct your focus. As such, you find yourself with a high level of intuition, imagination, creativity, and also wisdom. And you can now see how you get to the high level of consciousness. Does the third eye make you a psychic? It is said that some people have their third eye open in a natural way, but you can also make a deliberate move to have your third eye open. Those people with their third eye very wide open from birth and they are aware of it are the ones you consider psychic. In their lot are some, in fact, who have been relied upon to help in criminal investigations because the energies of their third eye direct their focus on where the action is even without their physical presence. Of course, opening your third eye is not necessarily going to produce a psychic out of you, but you will, definitely, be more aware of your environment, the positive and negative energy within it, and even be realistic about the possibilities of certain eventualities. Chapter 2: How do you open that third eye? Is there really only one way to skin a? No, you do not want trouble with animal activists, so you dare not see yourself skinning a cat, whichever eye you are using. So let us ask, is there just one way of catching a thief? And the answer is no, there are more than one way. You could lie in wait, set up CCTV cameras, and many other ways. Likewise, there is more than one way to open your third eye. You could do this and do that, but ultimately the practice you put into the whole experience is what determines how successfully you manage to open that third eye. Meditation. In meditation, you seek out some quiet place. And do not worry, we appreciate the world is one noisy place. So your place need not be as quiet as a deserted church, just quiet enough to let you focus without major distractions. Again, it needs to be a place where you can sit down. This is how you go about it: sit right on the floor. Whether you have laid a mat or not is not consequential. Set up your back, it needs to be straight. Cross your legs before you. Well, you cannot really cross them any different way, can you? Rest your open hands on your knees. You are now set for meditation. Hold on. Suppose sitting on the floor is a no for me? That is a question you should expect from many people, but the truth is, that is not a reason for you or anyone else to let meditation pass. So, in case, for some reason you cannot actually sit on the floor, or possibly you do not want to, get a chair and sit on it. Just ensure that your back remains straight. And how is the rest of the body in the meantime? Well, chest out. Abdominal muscles tight. What is the big deal with abdominal muscles? Well, they are very important in supporting the upper part of your body. And shoulders down. Why down for the shoulders? Well, you are required to relax, that is the reason. In fact, you need to consciously let your body go even as you observe the areas pointed out above, of the abdominal muscles and so on. You are now set, go. Begin by letting your head that now sits on a relaxed neck move from side to side. That way, you are helping release the tension that may be in your neck muscles. Once you do that, you will feel your body generally relaxing. It is now time to address your mind. Sweep out all thoughts from your mind. Oh, and how is that possible? You may try to forget the issue of your college fees, but then the thought of the energy bills surfaces. And when you have just managed to ignore that one, the image of that colleague who sabotages your work in the office jumps in. Looks like this is the real sabotage against opening your third eye, lots to worry about in life. But gladly, there is a trick. Do you hear that humming of your old fridge that seems destined to go on for eternity? You can choose to focus on it single-mindedly. Alternatively, you can focus on your breathing rhythm, in, out, in, out. Whatever you focus on, let your mind not be distracted from it. All right. But a tough call it is. No, do not fret about attaining perfection. Rome was not built in a day, and you do not expect to master this technique overnight. So, cut yourself some slack. If a thought lands from nowhere, well, you know it is from some corner of your mind. Just acknowledge it has had the better of you and switch your focus back to the one thing you chose for concentration. How long do you remain in the state of meditation? Well, you need to aim at 30 minutes in the least. However, you do not have to stick to the minimum, because you know what? You often find yourself wasting the initial 10 to 15 minutes of your session, trying to get rid of all the junk that has accumulated in your mind from the daily hustles. In fact, you can refer to those first many minutes as your transition period from the normal chaotic world to your peaceful meditative state. How often should I meditate? Hey! You cannot have enough of a good thing. But since the reality of life is such that you cannot meditate as often as monks do, spare some time every day just for that. Once you make daily meditation part of you, you will begin to notice some elevated level of consciousness. And when you are seriously pressed for time? Well, just know the secret of what you want and make it happen. Even 5 minutes or less will do. Yes, you can do it. Once you have mastered the art of meditation, you can just leave the scene where everyone else is, dash to the toilet, supposedly, and not for real, and just go to a secluded place and have a couple of minutes session of meditation. You will join the rest of your pack feeling more relaxed and with more heightened level of comprehension. Some simple but important things to note. If you keep thinking about how much time is remaining for your meditation session to end, it means you will be distracted very often. Why not solve this problem by setting a timer? So, yours is to concentrate with no excuse to stray. After all, once your session is up, your timer will ring. You can meditate even as you go about some chores. Just like you can send a prayer to the divine even when you are not in a place of worship, so too can you put your mind into meditating mode anytime, anywhere. For instance, when you are busy brushing your teeth, something that we know is very repetitive and routine, you can deliberately focus on the movement of your brush while keeping all other thoughts out. You will effectively manage to handle two things in one move. You will have clean teeth and a clear, focused mind. Here is another angle to opening your third eye. The inadvertent way. The way your third eye opens up in under this banner is surely inadvertent. You do not go out to open it and you do not strategize about it. Yet it happens. Here are some ways you can abruptly find yourself with a radically high level of intuition in a way you never experienced before. After experiencing a near-death situation, instances have been known where ordinary people like you became psychics after surviving near-fatal accidents. You have the mediums John Holland and Maureen Hancock of the U.S. as great examples whose heightened psychic abilities developed after serious accidents. After losing someone you love. Inevitably, even people who are ordinarily not spiritual become spiritual in the course of grieving for someone they loved. And as they let themselves get spiritual comfort, they get their third eye opened even though that was not a planned move. After giving birth to a child. Automatically, your senses are on high alert when you have a newborn. You want to protect the vulnerable baby and ensure it is comfortable at all times. That in itself is a way of opening your third eye as your intuition heightens. Undertaking energetic healing. If you have sessions of energetic healing, say hypnosis or something like Reiki, which is a form of physical therapy, you can have your third eye opening. Such sessions activate your sixth sense and raise the frequency of your vibrations. Just so you know, those extraordinary ways of activating your third eye are not exhaustive. If you look at the thread that cuts across all of them, you can safely come to the conclusion that any life-shaking event can cause an alert in your system and hence a heightened level of intuition, activating your third eye. Chapter 3, Applying the Trataka Technique of Meditation. You can open your third eye by following the technique popularly known as Trataka. Trataka simply means gazing in common parlance. And the gazing in this meditation technique refers to the kind of concentration that you do, focusing on one particular point for a prolonged period of time. Exactly how does Trataka open the third eye? First of all, you need to know that this technique is based on the spiritual belief system that holds the contention that the third eye is right where your sixth chakra is, right on your forehead, between your eyebrows. And you also need to appreciate the importance of the sixth chakra so that you can appreciate its relevance here. If you have no idea, just understand that chakras are points in your body where spiritual energy converges to bring harmony to your overall being, and different chakras have different roles. When the energy is flowing nicely within the sixth chakra, you find yourself aware of your surroundings, in a way that you can sense danger if it is lurking somewhere, and you can get encouraged if there is positive energy around you. So it is just as well that when you use the Trataka technique, the spot you focus on is right on your brow where that sixth chakra is. And once you manage to do that successfully, then you will be increasing your sense of awareness, what you perceive without seeing with your two naked eyes. and you will have succeeded in opening your third eye. Here are the steps of Trataka. Sit upright on the floor. Ensure your spine is particularly upright. You need to position your legs in a cross-legged manner. In this technique too, if you cannot sit on the floor, it is fine for you to sit comfortably but upright in a chair. Now shut your 2 eyes. With your eyes well closed, do breath in and out 3 consecutive times. Still with your eyes closed, try and focus on your forehead, the place you recall we traced the 6th chakra. When talking on focusing, you practically try to draw your eyes towards that middle part of your brow. As you do so, begin to count the numbers from 100, one by one backwards up to 1. Just leave about 2 seconds between one digit and the next. In short, while sitting in an upright position and with your body well relaxed, and also with your eyes closed and focused on your brow, you begin to count silently in your mind, 100, 99, 98, 97, 96, 95, 1. In the meantime, do not be surprised to feel some strain on your eyes. You can be sure it does not graduate to pain or anything unpleasant. It is a kind of strain that you soon get accustomed to and actually enjoy it. What else transpires? There is also some sensational feeling around your point of focus, indicating that something is happening to your third eye. Keep your focus steady, still on the middle of your brow. Your third eye continues to open and soon you begin to see thoughts, seeing things like the way you see things in a dream. Keep your focus still on the position of the third eye until you have successfully done 10 to 15 minutes. Great! Now you can allow yourself to reverse your focus to your surroundings, but still with your eyes closed. Let your eyes relax. Let your focus now leave your third eye and return to normalcy. Remain still for a couple of minutes. With your eyes relaxed, draw air in and out 3 times, inhaling and exhaling. Now you can open your 2 eyes slowly. Great! You are done with your Trataka meditation. And, without a doubt, you have succeeded in doing 2 things. 1. You have exercised your physical eyes in a way that leaves them healthier. 2. You have learned how to concentrate and draw the power of intuition. Care that you need to take. It is normal to feel some warmth around the area of your third eye as you meditate. But if that warmth graduates to intense warmth or even heat, that is a sign that your intensity is opening an even deeper spiritual path. In fact, sometimes that effect manifests in form of irritation. And since that reaction is in the realm of things you need to rehearse for prior to this experience, it is best that you interrupt your Trataka meditation forthwith. Chapter 4. Using Open Portal Technique to Open the Third Eye. This technique that is referred to as Open Portal has a slightly different style. The results are, however, not affected in any way. You still get your third eye open and you feel a great sense of awareness and cognition. This is how you implement this technique. You lie down flat out on the ground or such other surface. While in that relaxed position, lift one index finger and touch the area right between your eyebrows. That is the point just above your nose bridge. Use that forefinger to press that spot in between your eyebrows, moving it in circular movements and in a clockwise direction. This is effectively some form of massage. Do the massage for something like 30 seconds and then remove your finger. Very likely, you will be left feeling some swirling sensation on that spot you just rubbed, even with your index finger already released. That is actually energy moving within you. Now move your eyeballs in an upwards direction. That movement of the eyeballs should be something like 20 degrees. With this eye movement, you will, very likely, experience a swirling feeling that is even stronger than before. Now pull in air through your nose, inhaling. At this juncture, you will feel some energy movement right from your feet. The route that energy takes is from the soles, through the calves, via your legs, through your groin, passing through your hips and your torso, upwards via your spine, right through your throat, entering your head to reach the spot where energy has been swirling. As you now exhale, you will feel some pulsation and strength in that area of your third eye, and you will experience some powerful glow. Do a fresh round of inhalation and feel the energy traveling within you right from the soles of your feet, upwards through your lower and to your upper body, the same way the energy traveled in the first round. On exhalation, the energy you feel at that spot in between your eyebrows is even more intense. Now that you have mastered this art of inhalation and exhalation, and focusing on the movement of your energy from your feet up to your brow, you need to repeat that exercise until you hit 33 times, considering both inhalations and exhalations. After successfully doing this exercise, you will have opened your third eye. You will even be feeling the swirling effect even without touching your forehead. Within no time, you will be able to summon the swirling effect without having to touch your forehead or even doing any of those exercises. To keep the power of your third eye going, and even to make it even stronger, it is advisable that you do that routine of massaging your forehead and monitoring the movement of energy from your feet up to your forehead every time before you get up in the morning. Do the routine before you go to bed too every night. That is a way of keeping your intuitive power up, keeping your third eye open. To enhance your understanding of how this open portal technique works, you just need to imagine an indigo rose flower with its attractive petals well rounded to form the open flower. The swirling effect you feel in the middle of your forehead corresponds to the energy that swirls through the unfolding rose. You need to realize that the sixth chakra is symbolized by the indigo color. Chapter 5, Two-Tier Technique to Open the Third Eye. The First Awakening. This stage is primarily about connecting with that seat of the soul, the third eye. Which one, you may ask? This is the pineal gland, that tiny place where the famous philosopher of French descent, René Descartes, believed your soul resides. And that place, incidentally, happens to be the fundamental link between your body and your mind. Question: if truly every person has this very important gland, why are many people unaware of their third eye? Sincere answer: in all honesty, many people are average in many things. And it takes some prompting or some initiative to excel and leave the realm of the average. And when it comes to appreciating and opening your third eye, this is what this book aims for, to get you from the view of the average person, to the different views of a person with higher, more developed intuition. So, what we are in effect saying is that for an average person, the pineal gland just performs its biological role of secreting melatonin, that hormone that prepares you for night hours and consequently, sleep. However, with appropriate techniques and practice, you can open your third eye, activate that soul seat, and join the people with enhanced mental and intellectual vision. The first stage. This stage is simple, but it needs to be practiced well. This is how you go about it. Sit upright somewhere, on the floor or even on some furniture. Inhale air, as usual, through the nose, only this time you pull in the air slowly into your lungs. Hold that inhaled air for the longest time you comfortably can. When it comes to your mouth, of course, the normal thing would be to have it closed, not this time, though. Even without opening it wide, you need to part your teeth some bit, so that the tip of your tongue pushes through your front teeth a little bit. Let your tongue put some pressure against your teeth the way you do when you are preparing to say the sound, th, as in the word the, as you prepare to exhale. Now do the actual exhaling, releasing the air in a slow motion through your teeth. And as you release the long stream of air, you will be producing a sound like th, h, h, o, h, h. In short, your tongue will be making vibrations between the teeth. What is the impact of this procedure? Well, for one, you will feel the air exiting through the place of contact between tongue and teeth. Your jaw and also your cheeks will experience some kind of sensation. That experience may manifest like some sort of pressure. You will have a tone vibrate within your third eye. You may not have the hang of it at first, but with practice you are going to register the expected experience. In fact, just after completing those steps of inhaling and exhaling, restart all over, and keep repeating the procedure until you have completed 5 consecutive rounds. Is this now the juncture at which you say, time for first awakening is up? Well, not yet, you have just completed its first stage. The second stage. The second stage of this first awakening is where you make a repeat of the whole process of stage 1. Here you have got to repeat the procedure after 24 hours. This 24 hours waiting period gives your system time to take in the effects of your earlier processes. After that first repeat you need to do another one, also after another 24 hours. In short, the session for this second stage ends when you have done the whole procedure in 3 days consecutively. So now, yes, you are done with the first awakening. What signs mark the end of that session of pineal gland awakening or third eye opening? Expect some headache. If not a headache, expect to feel some pressure right in the middle of your forehead. And so you know it is the real thing. The pressure will tend to emanate from some place about an inch into the inside of your forehead. At some point, you may feel some tingling or even throbbing within your forehead one early morning, something that comes close to a goosebump. The feeling could even continue into the day. Sometimes you may sense what we could actually call hearing sounds ringing inside your head. And those sounds come across as crackling sensations or even light popping. With those physiological happenings, you are sure your third eye is pretty open. Beware. That headache we have mentioned here may actually turn out to be serious migraine, and you would be better lying down to relax. So the best advice for you is to practice your third eye opening sessions in the evenings, when you cannot affect your day work or routine. However, not everyone experiences the migraines, only those whose pineal gland is calcified in a big way. Do you know the psychic effect of opening your third eye? Well, here is what you should expect after successful opening of your third eye, courtesy of the first awakening. You begin to increase your learning pace. You find yourself enhancing your retention rate of what you learn. Your creativity is enhanced. You get to strengthen your psychic endowments. If you never knew you had psychic gifts, you begin to discover them. You get to appreciate human auras in a strong way. You find psychic visions opening, clairvoyance. You find psychic hearing opening, clairaudience. You get psychic feeling or touching opening, clairsentience. Let us summarize this section by saying that whereas some level of discomfort is inevitable at this initial stage of activating your pineal gland, the benefits make the whole experience worthwhile. Gladly, many are the people whose only discomfort is the slight pressure on the forehead. The second awakening. The presumption here is that you have already gone through the first awakening. It is like talking about polishing your draft, of an assignment or anything else for that matter. You cannot have anything to polish, really, unless you have done some groundwork, laid some foundation. And that is what the first awakening was all about, laying foundation for your energy flow. It was precisely about getting your inner energy, that spiritual energy, flowing. And that you have accomplished. Now for that flow of energy to take on the best rhythm, your body needs a break of somewhere between 10 to 14 days from the time you complete the session for the first awakening. Only then can you begin your second awakening session. Let us begin by whetting your appetite, for here you are talking about a second session of very pleasurable experience, actually qualifying to be called euphoric. It is recommended that you undertake this session once a week. That is enough for this blissful experience. Here are the steps you undertake. While well sat and relaxed, breathe in to your fullest and then hold your breath within as you inwardly count 1 up to 5. Then breathe out slowly. Repeat the process of breathing in and out slowly 3 more times. How do you think this will make you feel? I will tell you, well relaxed and actually focused. From that point henceforth, put your focus on your third eye. With that deliberate focus, believe you me, you are going to feel its existence, that pressure that feels within the spot of the third eye. Now undertake the process below. Breathe in as deeply as you did during the first awakening. Hold on to that breath for the longest you can within comfort, that is, without straining. Then release that air through your mouth in slow exhilaration, letting your lips vibrate the word "may" as the air comes out. In effect, your air should come out with an auto sound of M, Y. What feeling should you expect at this juncture? Well, the opening of the third eye is all about energy flow that causes heightened awareness. At this point in time, therefore, you should expect energy within your head passing through the location of your third eye. That energy then heading for the middle part of your brain. Finally, that energy landing on the crown chakra, which is at the top part of your head. Mark you, all this happens as you exhale air, making the hme sound. Another important point to note is that you need to be relaxed in all this, because then, you will be able to follow the flow of your energy, effectively focusing on it as it flows through those 3 stages of third eye, midbrain, and then your head top. When you are done with that round of inhalation and exhalation, do a repeat 4 more times. At the end of it all, you will have done 5 rounds of inhalation and exhalation, focusing on your energy flow, through all the 3 relevant areas. How you should expect to feel after this second awakening. Soon after the exercises, you are likely to feel a kind of pleasurable lightness. Sometimes you may feel some tingling in your head. Other times you could feel some pressure around your crown area. It is not uncommon to feel a sense of intense euphoria. On the overall, this second awakening gives you some welcome bliss, and the timing of that bliss can vary from one individual to the next. It could come only hours after the third eye awakening process, or even days after. You know what the icing on the cake is? Well, this blissful state could last for a very long time, almost becoming part of you. As a result, you find yourself enjoying void meditation, clairvoyance, enhancement of additional psychic senses, enhancement of other paranormal senses. Chapter 6, Benefits of the Third Eye. Do you now see how different you would be with the power of the third eye? From what we have seen so far, there is a way you can empty your fears and anxieties from your system and replace them with the tranquility that comes with awareness. And what a peaceful world you would find despite the ups and downs of everyday life. In simple terms, you do not feel at peace with the world because people stop quarreling and nations cease hostilities, no. It is the awareness of what is going on around you, and your appreciation of your abilities and limitations that gives you peace. You surely do not want to miss the chance to lead a relaxed life after understanding the potential you have with the third eye. Let us summarize the benefits of opening your third eye. You will begin to be aware of things unseen and things unheard when you have your third eye open. You get to be conscious of things that are happening distance away from you, and after a period of getting used to, you know when that awareness calls for action. So you can find yourself making a telephone call in the middle of the night to check on someone, not because you have had a bad dream, but because you have gotten insight into some bad experience the person is having. In short, you get to live your life with a kind of spiritual guide. You become in charge of your life. The intuition that comes with opening of your third eye becomes like some natural wisdom. You are able to turn left and lead others in that direction when you sense danger on the right. And because of that kind of reliable sense of direction, others cannot help but respect you. To them, what they see and sense in you is a kind of admirable maturity, for what you say is well thought out, and it ends up guiding you to a much better place than otherwise. With this kind of ability to control your life, walking away from danger and walking towards opportunities becomes like second nature to you. When others seek to pay a fortune to get their lives deciphered by a psychic, you just smile, knowing quite well you would not need to pay anyone to do what you can do for yourself. It harnesses your intuitive wisdom and in the process transforms your life through the various techniques of keeping your third eye open. You end up with improved self-awareness, controlled emotions, and ability to keep stress levels low. This gives your life great harmony, something that is elusive in many people's lives. Increased ability to discover hidden passions when you have heightened awareness of you as part of a complex environment, with the ability to adjust yourself to suit different situations. Thanks to the third eye, you have a better chance to ignite fresh passions that you never knew you had. For the passions that you were already pursuing, you will find yourself doing far much better than before. You will appreciate that better if you think of a situation where, instead of worrying all day long about your pending bills, you find yourself coming up with intelligent ways of managing your debts. You find yourself with no propensity to absorb negative thoughts. This is how this happens. During your third eye-opening sessions, you allow your senses to see your inside. And as you take deep breaths in and out, you do not just acknowledge the good thoughts but also those that are not so pleasant. Simply put, you do not take, for instance, meditation exercises, in order to escape reality. No. You do so in order that you can appreciate the thoughts going through your mind, and subsequently let the negative thoughts leave. Negative thoughts do not thrive in an environment that is clear and peaceful, they dwell in toxic environments. What now guides you is the intuitive wisdom that fills your mind, which then gives you much needed patience to handle the not-so-pleasant things in your life. You get to learn things you never thought yourself capable of. This is because in sessions of meditation, you are able to hear sounds and visualize things that are not within your vicinity, and you also get to feel emotions you would normally not sense as a person whose third eye is closed. In the process, you are able to handle relatively well people who are stressed out and people who are annoying. You are able to accommodate their unpleasant state without becoming victim of their negative vibrations because of your intuition and patience. In short, having your third eye active is a great way of keeping free of unnecessary pressure and also free of anxiety. You are able to look deep inside you, which makes you appreciate the outside all the more. It is at the time of meditation that you get to open up to your deepest passions, and this puts you in a good position to adjust your daily life accordingly. In short, what you discover in your inside manifests on your physical life. For instance, if you are at peace with yourself after meditation, you hardly get uncontrolled temptations to shout at people. You are patient. And if you have found your passion, you set your life goals in a decisive way, you get focused. Chapter 7. How about opening your third eye in unconventional ways? Well, the norm feels safe and sure, and it is more often stress-free, but hey! How about venturing outside the usual, the norm, the conventional? It sounds like a little adventure, and there is, really, nothing wrong with having some fun while trying to reach the realms of the highly spiritual or highly intuitive. In fact, the reality is that the norm can sometimes be boring, or not so much enticing. Of course, we need to mention here that whatever you do in a bid to open your third eye needs to be done within the tenets of moderation and good health. With that in mind, let us look at some crazy-sounding methods, but which ultimately end up opening your third eye in ways unknown to you before, searching for the poetic dragon smoke. Here, you are being called upon to make a great leap from what you know and what you have always believed, to a mental sphere where you are ready to register new things. You will be accepting to break the boundary markers of the finite, and allowing your mind to venture into the world of the infinite. In short, you will refuse to see things at face value, but instead get your mind reading between the lines with the openness to embrace new meanings and perspectives. Allow yourself some mental adventure and let your third eye embrace the great mystery. This is exemplified well in the way ancient poets laid their work. They would write things that are familiar to you in an interesting way, but then in the middle of their work they would, sort of, lose you. They would write things with pretty deep meaning, and which would call for great intellect for you to comprehend. And then they would end up resuming their initial simplicity and tone. According to the Chinese, those poets were riding on dragons, and during the span that they lose you in their writing, it is the time their dragons are emitting smoke, the way it happens in major Chinese festivities, and in the process shooting the poet to the world unknown, the unconscious. Of course, the poets would later resume the common world and we begin to read something familiar. Seeking to open your third eye is an attempt to cross the bridge of the familiar to step into the arena of the unfamiliar, the apparently mystical. Unbecoming everything. You see, we know you as this or that. You could be the medical doctor who is very good in mathematics and science, full stop. Or you could be the great soprano singer. Now, while those statements sound complimentary, do you not see some danger in them becoming limiting? And it may be one aspect that puts pressure on you to remain as we know you. If we know you as a great mathematician and scientist, we kind of close your doors to the world of art. It is like you have got to sneak to attend a writers' congress because we do not expect you to do well in it. However, if you erase those limiting parameters and allow yourself to be what you are yet to know, you will be opening your third eye and giving yourself opportunity to explore deep and wide. And remember, it is not just other people who limit you. In fact, you are your own greatest limiting factor. And you are the only one who can liberate yourself from static limitations, to the realm of uninhibited thinking. You will let your third eye open up by clearing the self-conflict you constantly experience, the conflict of fearing to lose what you have, for example, without being sure that you will have something worthwhile to replace it. Come to think of it, how can you ever add anything into your hand if it is always secured in a tight grip? Liberate yourself from society and then use the conflict within you to undergo a process of self-regeneration. That is the advice from Jennifer Ratner Rosenhagen, the renowned U.S. professor of history who is also an author. By taking this route of undoing things that are said to make you, it is important that you take into consideration the possibility of not becoming something in particular. In short, you are not striving to free yourself from limitations only to jump into a different form of limitation, no. Embrace the idea of setting yourself free with a view to becoming everything possible, being the authentic you. The fact is that you are a multi-layered individual with diverse and exceptional potential. Let your third eye open your vision to those avenues. Using apocalyptic glasses to see. Just as Rumi, the Persian poet of the 13th century, said, "Whatever you see or observe has its real roots in the world of the unseen." And for you to be able to follow those roots, you need to look through those far-reaching lenses. You get to see the truth that exists but we do not see owing to our set beliefs and our perceptions. Sometimes we are blinded to our potential by where we find ourselves, particularly when we are born. This is referred to as caught reality. Of course, there are perceptions we develop because of what we are taught. It could be in school, by our parents, and so on. This way of looking at things is referred to as taught reality. Then there is the universe that is bigger than us, and with its nature doing its thing without referring to anyone for an opinion. It also has a way of influence our perceptions. This is what is referred to as ought reality. With all these dimensions that are not necessarily in harmony, we seek to understand them all as a package. What we end up perceiving is the sought reality. If you have clearly followed this method of opening your third eye, you will appreciate that the apocalyptic glasses are not giving you any specific direction to follow. What it does is just help in opening your third eye so that you are able to see what you are capable of learning and perceiving without external influences. The apocalyptic glasses are, in effect, imminently a plain white, where they show you neither colorful optimism nor dull pessimism. Practicing Counterweltanschauung dynamics, do not worry about the German jargon. All that the long word, Weltanschauung, means is worldview. You realize that a lot of what you do and what you aim to achieve has its benchmark on the outlook the world gives you about things. But the suggestion here is, try and ignore those world benchmarks and look at things from contrasting viewpoints. See what you come up with. Inevitably, if you go all out to do that, you will find your third eye opening, and you begin critically evaluating your situation and your contentions. And you will begin to appreciate the world from an open-minded perspective. What essentially this method seeks to achieve is a state of mind that is as open and as authentic as nature itself. Practicing faux pas dynamics. Well, the idea is not really to go being rude to people, but it is just to develop some carefree attitude of a kind, such that you are not uptight at the thought of going wrong a decimal. Acknowledge deep down you that the world is not stable in anything. As such, circumstances that create a state of happiness in your life are not necessarily eternal. Likewise, those that create an unhappy state are not eternal either. The lesson, therefore, is that you prepare yourself for any eventuality. Riding on the same wave, when you are succeeding and others seem to be failing, do not be haughty and contemptuous. Be good to them and be sincere about it, not patronizing. You will find yourself experiencing some double-jointed spirituality, giving you a pleasant balance. Yet even with that nice feeling, you ought not to revel too much on your successful life lest you slip. Remember, pride is what precedes a fall. In summary, we are saying that it is all right to laugh at everything, good or bad, and even ridiculing what others take to be untouchable. Whereas that tendency keeps the powerful people around in check, it also opens and keeps open your third eye. Practicing crazy wisdom. Here what you are trying to visualize is your soul. You are seeking some package of wisdom or some software that can connect you to the world of mystery. The third eye is actually the interface you are seeking so that you can understand that mystery that nobody can solve. In fact, that is the analogy of the famous novelist and poet, Tom Robbins. In this crazy wisdom, one way of opening your third eye is trying to be the effective link between youth and adulthood. So, somehow, you get to become this beginner who is eager and open to learning, and that mature person who is full of wisdom. You will be that person that is neither a fool per se, and nor a wise person. In essence, you will be ready to critique what others take to be ideal, and you will seek to dismantle and analyze the beliefs of a pragmatist. This is not madness, not in the least. What is it then? Critiquing a pragmatist the same way you critique an idealist? Yes, there is good reason for that. Appreciate that pragmatism and idealism can go hand in hand. Pragmatism keeps you grounded while idealism keeps your vision alive. With that marriage of perspectives, you will open your third eye, embrace fresh ideas that pragmatists would otherwise smother, and then implement them in a realistic way, contrary to the way idealists do, getting lost in fantasy. In summary, this crazy wisdom of yours will widen your paradigm, and you will begin to be creative in thinking and deed. And it is no secret, really, that you need to be creative in order to emerge a genius. And that tells you how much more creative you need to be if you are to appreciate the world of mystery. Chapter 8: How to Tell That Your Third Eye is Open. Have you for a moment imagined that your two eyes might begin to pop out when your third eye opens up? That may be something some people have feared. Or possibly that a thick pimple might grow on your brow like a miner's torch. Really, none of these scary things is going to happen, not even if you turn out to be a real psychic. You will still remain the ordinary mortal you have always been. In fact, you need not fret that the pineal gland used to be on the surface at the back of your head once upon a time. That is in the history unknown to us, and it is not about to get repeated. For now, just think of that story as mythical, nice place to hide when you can't decipher things. Anyway, here is what tells you that you have your third eye wide open. Pressure within the third eye circuit. When you are not able to define it as pressure, it is possibly a tingling sensation. And sometimes that feeling is not confined to the spot between your eyebrows. You can also feel it on the crown of your head or even in other spots where different chakras are positioned. Chakras, what are they again? These are simply energy connecting points. This higher, kind of spiritual energy, is enhanced in different areas of your body depending on the role it is playing. Some chakras deal with physical energy, others intuition, others self-confidence, and so on. So these areas feel the impact of the enhanced flow of energy once the third eye is open. In fact, you feel the greatest sensation at the first instance when your third eye opens. Thereafter, the sensation is kind of moderate and steady. Having a strong spiritual feeling. Here is where you feel like you are under the watch of a divine protector, a strong spiritual being, or even the spirit of a loved one. If you are religious, you are likely to feel the presence of angels around you, taking care of you. In cases where your third eye is awakened in a big way, you could even feel the presence of the loved ones of other people, not necessarily your own. And guess what that means? It means that you are progressing to the status of a medium, where you sense things on behalf of other people. That should not scare you, as it is normal for heightened intuition to move in that direction. Great desire to be a world away from negativity. When your third eye is clearly open, you find yourself being empathetic to other people. So it is inevitable for you to pick up other people's feelings. Now if those feelings happen to be negative, it leaves you drained while they themselves may appear fine and unaffected. Owing to that sensitivity, it is understandable that you should wish to protect yourself against negativity and drama. Wholly embrace your feeling and do what you need to do, seeking to dwell in positive environments. Great desire to maintain a healthy eating habit. Listen, different foods have got varying vibration frequencies. Did you know that? I highly doubt that you did. And why the doubt? Well, when adjusting your diet you often cite unfavorable rounded waistline, risk of diabetes, but really nothing about vibrations. So now you know. Fruits, vegetables, and such other healthy foods vibrate at higher frequencies. And what does that mean in the whole setup of third eye opening and all? Simple, when your third eye is open, your level of intuition is pretty high. And that directly means that you are personally vibrating at a high frequency. Is it not logical then that you should need foods that match your vibrations? In fact, and this is no exaggeration, some people take up a psychic diet. This should put any anxieties to rest. If you suddenly begin to feel inclined to walk the healthy road, it is by no means an indication that you have begun to get scared of death, no. It is a direct function of your third eye opening. Propensity to read more. It is normal to feel like reading diverse material and synthesizing it once you have your third eye awakened. You could also find yourself leaning more towards spirituality. This follows the awareness you are having at a subconscious level on how brilliant life can be, emanating from the luminosity of your soul. Having frequent dreams that happen to be vivid. It is not surprising that you should dream more because in your resting state that is sleep, there are no thought interruptions. So what comes in through your intuition is not inhibited by self-doubt and such other forms of self-conflict. Incidentally, though such dreams result from a high level of intuition, they do not necessarily translate into premonitions, so worry not that every one of your dreams will translate into reality. Being highly sensitive to your body senses. Once you have your third eye open, your psychic senses, what you will hear being referred to as clairs, become stronger. Mark you here we are generally talking of the senses you already know, only in the language of psychics. In essence what you are noticing is a stronger sense of seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling, tasting, and touching, which in psychic language we call clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairscent, clairtangency, and clairgustance, respectively. Having intuitive hits. We are talking of hits just to show that not everything that comes to your thoughts has a touch of reality. So these hits are when you are getting intuitive thoughts and they end up translating into reality. For example, you get a strong feeling about someone's presence, possibly someone who lives far away from you and someone you possibly have not seen in years, and then pap, here they emerge. How exciting! But then again, it may not be good things always. You may sense a bad thing and then it happens, and that can be worrying. Luckily, there is a way you can retain your psychic abilities, and condition yourself to slow down on the bad things. It is called having intuitive guidance. In short, with practice, you will be able to block out the line of intuition leading to negative revelations. This way your psychic abilities will not cause you any anxiety and you can comfortably embrace them. Experiencing frequent headaches. We are not insinuating here that every headache is a result of your high level of intuition, no. In fact, many are the people with high intuition levels and yet do not suffer headaches. So seek medical assistance if the way of psychics proves ineffective. When you think your headaches are a function of high energy influx through the sixth chakra, just soak both of your feet in some warm water. That way, you will be pulling that excess energy towards your feet and away from your head. If you wish to add some Epsom salts into the warm water, do it. If you wish to add essential oils, by all means, do it. They do a great job of relaxing your whole system. Parting ways with some old friends and having fresh ones into your life. You see, there is nothing inherently psychic about this trend. Only that there is no way your friend is going to feel comfortable with you if she is an avid gossip and you are not into gossiping simply for its negativity. If you were materialistic earlier on and now you have relegated materialism to the back where you previously possibly put spirituality, your priorities and those of many of your old friends are bound to change. And that is all right, for you will be happier with the new combination of friends, people who bring nothing but peace into your life. Chapter 9: How you can close your third eye. For starters, why would you wish to close your powerful third eye? Well, there may be varying reasons for this. If you have been on the farm, for example, and observed a farmer opening a goat pen, you may have seen how young rams behave once the pen is open. They ran amok. The farmer may smile about that, but it would be a different ball game if the rams continued that behavior for hours on end. The farmer may have to call a veterinary doctor to check the animals with a view to taming them. This is the same case that happens sometimes. You may open your third eye and begin experiencing the power of vision that comes with it, the swirling energy on your brow, intuition that proves 100% reality, and vivid reading of your environment. While this can be exciting, supposing you continue to visualize every potential happening on a continuous basis? Would it not overwhelm you after a while? In fact, chances are that you may find yourself being privy to occurrences you would rather you did not know, and that can be unsettling. At this juncture, if you had your way, you would close that third eye in an instant. Other times you may just want to temper that psychic power of awareness just a little bit. Here is one way you can turn off your third eye or tone down your intuition. Deliberately switching focus from your third eye. There are many ways to do that. Here are some you could try. Tell yourself that you seriously want to get out of that spiritual energy and return to your normal surroundings. By suggesting you tell yourself, the meaning is that you deliberately try to focus your energy away from your sixth chakra and possibly onto other chakras that deal with the physique. Switch your focus on your physical surrounding, or even on doing mundane stuff. You could do something which can contribute to stimulating your root chakra, hence making you grounded in your actions and relationships too. Examples of activities you can engage in for that purpose include clearing your house of clutter and keeping yourself busy organizing it. Pay attention to details of your daily life, including analyzing your bills and paying them, analyzing your bank account and possibly doing some bank reconciliations, such things that distract you from psychic energy. Engage in some physical exercises like jogging, table tennis, or just walking. Getting a massage. Disconnecting from the realm of the psychic. It is not automatic that you get yourself from matters of the head in a moment, especially once you have been in it for some time, but it is important that you work on it. If you allow yourself to remain in that state of heightened intuition, you may get a shock when something happens in your immediate surroundings abruptly. So you need to make a deliberate effort to retain reasonable awareness of your worldly environment even as you get your third eye energies flowing. Involve yourself in mundane stuff and routine. You could, for instance, get into the routine of taking breakfast, reading the dailies, watching mainstream media, and not doing anything creative at all. With time you will see no visions and you will stop sensing anything intuitive. This is because while you were busy attending to mundane stuff, visions surfaced but you did not pay attention to them and so they left. Soon, your third eye closes. Well, this is not Greek or Latin, just simple English. And you will appreciate this when you consider how much people talk around you and you do not register a thing. Why? This is simply because you have deliberately kept your focus elsewhere, maybe an email you were replying to, a bank statement you were analyzing, and so on. Discard your own belief that the third eye exists. How is that possible? Well, just like athletes on the track, if you begin second-guessing yourself, you will slow down. The reason you succeed is because you remain focused. So when you want to close your third eye, telling your mind that the whole belief system was a joke and that the whole psychic business is not possible begins to weaken your psychic abilities. If you find it difficult to convince yourself since you believe in the third eye anyway, try discussing the topic with skeptics. They will emphasize to you how crazy it is for anyone to believe in such power of intuition, and that will begin to make dents on your belief too. If you keep at it, soon you will have your psychic awareness dropping, and in due course your third eye will close. Important facts concerning the third eye. We are happy when our third eye is open, especially because we feel confident we know where we are in life. But as observed above, if uncontrolled, your psychic awareness can overwhelm you to the extent you want it off. However, there are times when you want to enhance your psychic awareness and have your third eye clear, yet you do not reach your optimum. You need to be aware of the things that you can do and end up sabotaging your personal efforts, like staying up late and sleeping irregular times. How is that negative in strengthening the vision of the third eye? Well, the way the pineal gland works has a connection with the 24-hour cycle of the Earth's rotations. So, for your third eye to function optimally, you need to adhere to the natural day's cycle. You use natural light working in the daytime, and you use artificial light minimally before you go to bed. Intense use of technology. You are bound to find it difficult retaining your psychic awareness if you are spending hours and hours on your laptop, your iPhone, and so on. These gadgets have artificial light that travels at unimaginable speed, and that, inevitably, affects your pineal gland. In fact, word has it that this technoculture has weakened the genetic ability you used to have to ward off nightmares. Chapter 10: Interesting Facts Regarding the Third Eye. Did you know that you and everyone else you know have psychic powers? Well, that is the fact, only that just as there is latent and kinetic energy, some people have active psychic powers while others have theirs dormant. Meaning? What that actually means is that you may have intuition about something and acknowledge it, yet others never give room for possibilities of intuition. They block the idea out and always wait to see logic before accepting there may be a chance of unsubstantiated occurrences. If you want to tell if you are one of the people who acknowledge and appreciate intuition, people whose third eye is open, there are certain things you can observe. Here, how to tell you have natural psychic abilities. Seek to answer the questions below, and if some of your answers are in the affirmative, then you know your third eye is open. You have a high intuition level. Do you find yourself thinking of somebody and almost immediately your phone rings and it is them on the line, or better still, they appear from nowhere? Do you sometimes have a hunch about something and when you ignore it you come to regret having done so? Are you able to tell from the onset if you like or dislike someone when you meet them for the first time? Are you sometimes certain about the outcome of an event even before it takes place? Do you sometimes guess a person's profession, without the benefit of hearing them speak and without being guided by the manner of dressing, and you are spot on? Do you experience vivid dreams of a prophetic nature? Do you get many coincidences and synchronicities in your life? Some of us do have these signs of great intuition, but we push them into the background because we are scared of what seems mysterious and strange. But you need not do that. Granted, it is normal to try and protect yourself from what you may fear to be harmful, like trying to bar anything that may seem to make you feel a little crazy, but the downside is that right there you could be blocking out some very nice things that could bring optimism and hope to your life. You could even miss a lifetime friend just because you thought your strong intuition about them was strange. There is nothing crazy about having psychic abilities. Be happy you can tap into your intuitive abilities. Everyone else has this intricate inner guidance system, but not everyone is able to benefit from it. There is actually nothing magical about the whole thing, and it is not something you can associate with any religious faith. It is simply human. Human beings are themselves a great force of energy. Everything else around us has some energy too. Is it strange then that you should be able to have some unspoken communication with fellow human beings and with all things on earth? If you follow that simple logic, you will realize that surely there is nothing really incomprehensible about having psychic abilities. In fact, the reason we often miss it is the preoccupation we have with conventions of society and other conditions that get the sensitivity of the third eye suppressed. Some people have distinct psychic abilities. We have been speaking of you thinking of something and it happens, you having a good feeling about someone and you end up getting a lifetime connection with them, things that affect you. But guess what? You could go a notch higher and be able to tell things that affect other people, like the example of guessing someone's profession and it turns out right, or even being able to tell them what they are going to become later in life. That is being psychic. It means that other people can rely on you to warn them against impending danger and you end up protecting them, or they could rely on you to pick the right option when it comes to life choices. Psychics may have varying fields of strength. Just like in school where we say that so-and-so is bright but is a math genius or a science guru, it is the same with psychics. Some have incredibly strong intuition relating to sight, others relating to the sense of touch, others relating to the sense of hearing, and so on. In that regard, we have psychics that can be categorized as clairvoyants, clairaudients, clairsensitives, remote viewers, lucid projectors, lucid dreamers, precognitors, retrocognitors, telepaths. In reality, psychics have the ability to strengthen even those intuitive abilities they were initially not so strong in. This is because they are already good at making good use of those high-level energies. It then means that you could find a person who accurately hears sounds of happenings far off, the clairaudient, being able to tie those sounds to actual events happening in real time, and even seeing the actual people involved in those events, meaning you are a remote viewer too. Alright. That is getting a little deep now, but clearly understandable. We all have our third eye, but only part of us behave in ways that encourage it to open and add awareness to the sensitivity of our 5 common senses. You see with your naked eyes, feel with your physical body, hear with your ears, taste with your tongue, and smell with your nose. But guess what? Even if you lost those senses but had your third eye well open, you could still make sense of what is happening around you and know what kind of people exist in this wide world. Oh. Is that the same as being a medium? Well, not necessarily. So, what is a medium? For one, you are right to the extent that a medium is a psychic. But you cannot flip that conversely, a psychic is not necessarily a medium. You see, a medium can communicate with the spiritual world, yes, even the spirits themselves. But you as a psychic can only communicate with me and others, and also things, through the link in energies. Simply put, what you as a psychic have in common with a medium is the ability to see someone's past life, the current life, and also the future trend. However, when you have the abilities of a medium, you find yourself getting assistance of knowing things from the spirits of people departed and other divine powers. That is why you can see a medium telling you how your late grandpa looked like and the kind of voice he had, whether he is happy with what you are doing now or not, and possibly what you should do to remedy an unpleasant situation you may be in. Can you learn to be a medium? Seriously, very few things are impossible with the help of the spiritual powers. We have already seen that you are capable of developing your psychic abilities even when all along you had your third eye closed. With the art of becoming a medium, you just need the right teacher plus the right level of patience to take you through the necessary practice. But we must acknowledge that being a medium is a pretty rare gift. How to know you are a natural medium? First and foremost, if you are a natural, the things you experience do not begin after an incident or an accident. They also do not begin to happen after you undergo some seminar or such other training. You do not also begin to experience them at maturity. You begin to experience extraordinary things without any prompting or any jerking from a traumatic experience, and also without any training towards that end. Here are some telltale signs that you are a born natural when it comes to the exceptional abilities of a medium. You can feel the physical presence of someone invisible in the room, something that others with you cannot detect. In similar circumstances, you may feel a cold breeze yet you know there is no wind sweeping through. You could find yourself sometimes hearing voices even when nobody is physically speaking around you. You may clearly hear people whispering or even hear your name being called out as if someone wants your attention. You may find yourself receiving messages in your dreams, possibly from departed relatives or friends. And it is not always that the messages are meant for you, sometimes they are meant for other people. That is how you get to mediate, as a medium, between the living and the dead. Sometimes you get communication from a superpower, a spiritual power, giving you insights into things you otherwise would not have known. This may come in form of a conversation within you, a kind of debate, that leaves you with a clear perspective. It becomes common for you to see apparitions from the very corners of your eyes. Conclusion. Now that you understand what the third eye is, you can start using it every day. Start by ensuring it is open in the first place. Follow the simple steps indicated in this book and watch your life change for the better. With increased awareness about your life in relation to those around you, you will feel confident undertaking certain projects and engaging with different people. This is mostly because the intuitive power of your third eye is able to warn you when certain moves are likely to lead you to danger and when certain others would be fruitful. When you practice opening and closing your third eye, be sure you are getting full control of your life, which is a good feeling, also a good thing for practical purposes. You may also wish to put your learned skills and enhanced level of spiritual awareness to practice, and see if you can help other people. This is something you can certainly do if you realize you have stepped into the realm of real psychics or even mediums. You may also be useful to parents of children with heightened psychic awareness, so that both the parents and the children can be able to lead normal lives without feeling overwhelmed. The next step is to go back over the book as needed while you begin to do your routine practices which are bent on enhancing the clarity of your third eye. Certain practices that you do before you go to bed ensure that you have a nice, peaceful sleep, while others that you do first thing when you get up in the morning ensure you begin your day feeling energized and positive about life. Once you have managed to open your third eye, it is unlikely you will wish to ignore it again, considering how great you feel when you have the feeling of being in charge of your life. With your high intuitive power, for instance, nothing really gets you entirely unaware. At least some vibe will have warned you of the possibilities, the power of the third eye. Reach for the intuitive level you deserve and don't forget to congratulate yourself for a job well done when you finally have your intuitive awareness. Finally, if you enjoyed this book, please take the time to share your thoughts and post a review on Amazon. We do our best to reach out to readers and provide the best value we can. Your positive review will help us achieve that. It'd be highly appreciated.